Hello and welcome to this week's St. Stephen Spotlight. This week, on very short notice, thank you guys. I have Deb and Doug Berkey with me. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How have you all been since the church closed and we haven't really all been together? How have you two been doing?
We've been doing well. I've been fortunate and very blessed that I've been working through the whole time. I would work at home a lot, work at home a week, and then in the office a week while we were at very minimum staffing. So it was nice working from home because I would get a lot done and I could be with Doug because he was home.
And you work at the city center.
Yep.
Maybe not everybody would know that, so I like to try to throw those.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And then, Doug, you were going to talk about your work.
Yeah, I haven't been on an airplane since
You took one weekend trip.
third weekend of May or something like that.
Whoa.
So it's been,
And that was his only trip in May.
Yeah, I flew one trip in May. Our base in Cleveland had nothing that we covered for June, so I've been off all month, but I am going back the middle of July.
Okay.
So it's actually been kind of nice. She's been working. I've been playing kind of like Mr. Mom and brushing up on my cooking skills and shopping skills. And
yeah, I have not been to a store. He does all the shop. You see, he's the one that's used to being around the germs. So I think he's immune to everything.
Huh.
And while I'm working, he would go to the store and we'd have then all evening together, which is for us, it's been, we never have that.
This is like a foretaste of the retirement to come.
That's exactly what I told Doug. This is what retirement will be, except I'll be home all the time.
I'm still not allowed to do the laundry.
No.
Well, not to be a downer on all the good stuff that you've experienced like this time together, I've also been asking people in these spotlights what's difficult or what's been difficult during this. Anything been particularly challenging?
Well, I mean, I'm used to a very social atmosphere at work, being around people and just chatting with people and having a meal with people in the evenings and stuff after our day's done. And that's definitely been different. I mean, I miss the people I work with. I miss the job, most definitely. But yeah, I could very easily fall into the habit of home life as well.
Yeah, that's
but
also.
He is the social one, and that, which I know the first, I'll say after he was home for about 3 or 4 weeks, I realized that he was really missing work. But the good thing about his job is he can keep doing it. I mean, there's no age restriction and he loves it, so why not?
Yeah. One of the things that I always try to do is when people retire, I always make it a point to give them a call and ask how they're doing, because we always have like this image of what it'll be like, but then the loss of like the camaraderie or the purpose or can be trying. So you've got a little foretaste of that too, and it's good for people to think about that before they jump into this. So that's good.
Definitely.
Have you all had a chance to be in touch with anybody else from St. Stephen? Have you heard about how anybody else is doing?
We have, because we've done the trivia night Zooms and the Matthew, Mark, Luke, and Beers with John. Yeah. So it's been really nice to see people, even though there's not a lot of interaction, but enough that it was so nice. It was refreshing to see them. I stopped last week to visit Sam and Martha Osgood. Oh. Just a little porch visit after work one day, and it was really good to see them. Have you run into anybody?
Just when I stopped at the church, last week, 2 weeks ago, and dropped some things off, and I got to see Val and Jane and Tracy, but again, just very briefly.
I'm sorry you had to run into them.
You weren't there.
I see some of our church friends at work too, because Donnie Brooker and Chase is working for the summer there, and
I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah, he's doing gardening and landscaping work, and I see Tracy a couple times a week too.
So one of the things that we do when I do this spotlight is when you all talk about people, I add them into the prayer list for the upcoming Sundays. That's, if I can remember, we'll have Chase and Don and Tracy and people in the Osgoods and names you're mentioning to kind of follow up with, you're talking about them. Could you remind me when you started at St. Stephen, and could you tell other folks when you started coming to St. Stephen?
Yeah, we figured we'd have to look to see exactly, but 1987 probably.
Our girls were babies. They were little.
Yeah,
they were like 2 and 3 years old. And
we moved back here from Colorado in 1985 and shopped around for churches and stuff for a while, and then we moved to Stowe, and so we figured it was like 1987. Yeah.
So that would have been before the newer sanctuary was even added on, I think.
Oh yeah.
We used to worship in the fellowship hall.
Yeah.
Yep, on those green chairs.
We still have the chairs.
I know.
They're good chairs.
So you've been here and you've been around here long enough to have a pretty educated opinion or idea of what we do that's fun or exciting. Like what's a strength of St. Stephen?
Well, I think all the social and community activities that
fellowship
that you've initiated since you've been here.
Yeah.
You all were pretty good at it before I came. That was like just adding on to what you all are very communal and get along.
It is all the fellowship activities though, and I like that it's kind of evolved into, I'll use the word all-inclusive, because it seems like we hit every few months something for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think churches, and especially when you came back with your daughters, and I think churches at another time maybe were able to have youth departments and departments for I think the state of the church now kind of says that we're one of the only places left where people of every age can join in at different things and be together, and so we're kind of trying to capitalize on that a little bit.
Well, I feel like so many families are so busy so much of the time with their kids and their events that mom and dad are just driving and watching. And so I like when it's all ages that can get together, and that's part of family time. You're making those memories and doing things together. That's what we've learned to enjoy again, is having so much time together, and we do things together. So.
And that's definitely a strength of St. Stephen. Now, are the two of you lifelong Lutherans?
I am. I grew up in the Lutheran Church.
Okay.
Baptized. In fact, the church I was baptized in is now part of the Flight 93 Memorial back in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I was baptized in a little church that's been turned into like a little museum memorial for him. But I've been a Lutheran all my life.
Okay.
I was raised Baptist, and then when I met this guy, when we lived out in Denver, and I became good friends with Doug, and I had been struggling to find a Baptist church that I liked because there's not a lot out there. And he said, "Oh, come to church with me," and the rest is history.
Yep.
I have not been able to bring myself to go to the Flight 93 Memorial, but you kind of gave me a little plug, and we were kind of looking for things to do at this point with the family. So I know it's not far.
And I haven't been to the memorial itself for a couple of years. This little church, it was bought by a Catholic priest. I mean, the church was just a little country church, and it was turned into a store and a storage area, and he actually bought the church, and it's called the Flight 93 Memorial Chapel. Yeah. It's not right at the crash site, but it's very close. It's worth the trip.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
And if I'm there, I'll try to picture little baby Doug and your baptism.
There you go. Yeah.
And then if you look across the street, there's a cemetery, an old church cemetery, and his grandma's buried over there.
Grandmas and aunts and uncles and cousins.
Okay. So someday, and we're starting to get together more now, but someday we'll go back to even more and more people as it's safe to do so. And eventually, you'll be able to rejoin the community that you were talking about. What are some things you're looking forward to when we're all back together?
It'll just be nice to see everybody again face to face, and the people that go to the service we go to, and worship together and sing together. That's what I love when I watch I think this last Sunday, I was probably annoying him a little bit because I don't sing very well.
But
And I was,
anyway.
When Ellen was playing and I was singing the songs, I go, I know that one. And I'm singing it. I sound really good to myself.
We've tried to pick music that are sort of will ring bells for people, and we would invite you to sing at home like you are. But I'll also warn you, I am not clear right now when we'll go back to
I
I
know. Yeah.
We might be together maybe more in person even before we really add in a lot of singing. So be patient there.
Oh, yes.
We might just have to hum.
You can do, I sort of just, I don't know what
Sing it in your head.
Yeah, but I sort of just quietly sing to myself, and people can probably see if they really looked at me. Yeah, he's kind of singing along. So I just don't project it out or whatever. So
right.
So before we're all back together and before we're able to sing together, and I'm sure it's beautiful, Deb, I'm sure it's fantastic. Before we get to that day, is there any way that we can pray for you or your family or anybody you've come across, anything you can think of to have us add to the prayer list?
I don't think so. Maybe just all the people that are in the nursing homes that have no family right now.
Okay, that are kind of isolated. And
the families of the people that are in the nursing homes that can't
go see them.
That can't go visit, yeah.
And we talked about, colleagues that we're kind of removed from, so we can add a prayer request like that. And then we also talked about you working at the City of Stowe, so I think we can always pray for the folks who work for the City of Stowe. And
sure.
So we can add those things. I like to try to go out of these on the highest note possible. So when we're going out, I like to ask people, if they have a book recommendation, that's sort of an easy out. But if you have a joke, that would really just make everybody's day. Here's no pressure.
I got nothing.
A book or a joke, a TV show that you've enjoyed?
I did just see a little cartoon on Facebook the other day, just to kind of bring everything that's going on in the world to light.
Perfect.
And it was just pretty much a picture of an empty hole. And it said something about, I've removed this post because it might be a fence.
Very good. People will love it. And now people are all going to go Google it.
I don't have the visual thing. It would help, but.
People are going to Google it. That's terrific. And part of the reason why we're a community at St. Stephen is because something about being online and removed, it is kind of touchy and lots of stuff floating around out there. But we know, as the people of St. Stephen all gathered together, that we may not all agree on everything, but we sort of get together even though things might offend us. Hopefully it's so that we're able to laugh at ourselves a little bit. So you have now sent everybody gonna Google that meme or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you for joining me and for being willing to do this.
Sure.
Fabulous. People will love seeing you, and they'll love seeing you in person pretty soon too.
Thank you.
All right. Good seeing you guys.
Take care.
Bye.